I mean, do you want to tell people how Stugotz greeted us by way of good morning this morning?
Stugotz is on a high. He walks in, he says, please, all these NBA experts. And I'm like, what's he talking about? Did Stugotz have the Warriors? I know it was Lakers +7 last night. Maybe he said the Warriors going to obliterate that. I was like, what's Stugotz talking about? He says, you guys told me Derek White wouldn't start. This is Stugotz's flag on the top of the mountain.
I asked if Derek White was going to start for the Celtics a couple of days ago. You, Mike Ryan, and Dan all looked at me like I was crazy. No, it's Brogdon. And it's not a big deal. I just wanted to point out that Derek White did start, and you should join a fantasy league because nothing gets you prepared for a regular season like a fantasy league.
How big is your fantasy league where Derek White is a fixture in there that people need to know whether he's starting or not?
I mean, he's a starting point guard. He went in the 9th round of my league. He did. I have him in one league. I do. He gave me nothing last night.
This would make
he shouldn't be starting.
Stugotz and all of his allies. They are. I thought Smart or Brogdon would generally get most of the minutes for them. They looked good.
They did.
They scored a ton of points. James Harden had the move of the night where I'm pretty sure I haven't seen too often a crossover. Marcus Smart ended up going from the three-point line, sliding on his back all the way to the baseline. Yeah. Then James Harden shimmied and missed the basket by about 4 feet.
So this is really funny because real hoopers will remember about 5-6 years ago, he did that to Wesley Johnson when Wesley Johnson was on the Clippers. Harden shook him, and Wesley Johnson tripped and fell out of the frame, and Harden stared at him, and the whole crowd, Staples Center, went, oh! And then he coolly, calmly nailed that wide open three. So fast forward, and we see the same thing happen to the reigning defensive player of the year. Like, oh, Harden got another one, and he got the little shimmy, and I was like, here it comes. And he missed so bad. Dan, I had to, I couldn't rewind because I'm in a hotel room, but I was like, did I just see what I think I saw? Did he hit the bottom of the backboard? It felt like AAU basketball or even biddy ball. You know, like when kids do things that they saw on TV, but they can't complete it.
I have not seen many times in my history watching basketball. There are 3 or 4, I don't remember the participants, where a guy gets crossed over on his back from the three-point line to the baseline. Where Marcus Smart was sliding. It's not just you end up in the key. It's not you end up going halfway to the baseline.
It's out of bounds.
He was across Causeway Street. He was at, what's the name of that bar they have right across there? The Four Leafs or whatever it's called.
I thought to myself, how does that feel while you're doing the sliding? As the defensive player of the year, you've got green hair, you're on your back, and you're sliding from the three-point line all the way to the baseline.
What's the green hair have to do with it?
It's
throwing
just
it
funny.
in? Yeah.
No, it's just all of it. How do you feel halfway through that slide where you realize he's shimmying at the top of the key?
The problem, Dan, is with Marcus Smart, you never know if that's also a little bit extra. Because later on in the game, there was a play where Embiid and Smart get tangled up. And Embiid and Smart, if you're not a hardcore NBA viewer, these are two of the floppingest ass MFers that we have in the NBA. Like, these are the elite of the elite, the creme de la creme. So, Smart falls down.
Wow.
He grabs at Embiid's ankle. Embiid takes this as an opportunity to thrust his legs forward and his hands back go, whoa, like Joe Gatto on Impractical Jokers, just slipping inside and falls on his back. And so then Jaylen Brown arrives on the scene, and now we've got people holding each other, and I'm thinking to myself, nobody here is trying to fight. They're just trying to draw a call. So Smart ends up getting the personal foul and the technical foul, which tells me that Embiid, you are now the number 1 flopper in the NBA. Congratulations.
Interesting.
I saw a couple nights ago, flipping through the channels, the movie Death Becomes Her from a million years ago, and Meryl Streep is on the top step, and I didn't know how they did it with the movie. I didn't know at the time how they were able to suspend Meryl Streep on a top step about to fall down and spending a good minute just flailing her arms. That's what you're saying Joel Embiid did? Stugotz, Amin's writing you a note that Meryl Streep's a good opportunity for you to have a joke.
Oh, I was
ready.
getting to it. Yeah, I was. Thank you, Amin.
No problem.
Didn't want to throw your flow off, Dan. You know what I'm saying?
Come
Overrated.
and get it. I'm giving it to you, Stugotz.
We will talk about the Miami Heat opening its season in a few minutes. I'm sure we will run many of you off when we do that.
I was putting together my top 5 floppers list of all time. That's what I was doing,
All
to be
time?
honest with you. Yes, of all time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a crowded. A lot of oil eyes on that one.
I think Paul Pierce might have naming rights to the list.
He made a top 5 finally.
The truth.
Whitty and Jessica, I think, got left behind on the glasses. I think Billy and Roy and Tony have
What?
the best glasses. The birds, the
Dan,
pelicans, the flamingos, the
crabs.
parrots.
I've had to
Revelation.
verify, in order to log into my email this morning, I've had to verify myself 4 different times, and it does it via Face ID. So you might have seen me during the segment take the pineapple sunglasses off, verify my face, then put them back on. Apple needs to work on if I'm wearing prop glasses, it can still verify my face. Is my chin not enough for you, Apple?
Billy, how are you feeling about Bacardi's
Spicy as
extra
hell right
spiced
now.
up
Did you see what
Wednesdays?
these things are? I thought these were like chili peppers at first, but they're not.
Whoa.
These seem to be just like the things that go on top of Enyas. Like we just have a bunch of like dildos hanging
Is it
around
accent mark?
sideways on the studio. Yeah, like what is this? I love this.
Enya, FL?
Por la cultura.
I think it's supposed to be like a flame,
No, it is like
pepper,
no, it's not a pepper. It's like the spice.
lightning.
Do you think
Spice
that
lightning.
Just an
Stugotz...
Enya. These were probably on sale because Hispanic Heritage Half Month just ended, so they probably had to get rid of them.
Yeah,
And they
it
took them
did.
off of all the ends in
It
NFLs.
already ended?
Yeah. Only it's 15 days in September and 15 days in October, half and half for some reason. Time flies, man.
I don't know
How did
either.
they give us a half month, Dan?
Well, they gave us a full month. They just gave us 2 half months.
I don't like
They had
that.
a payment plan.
Billy, can you? What would be your guess? Even though you've just explained it and you were speaking about it, would you guess that Stugotz knows what an Enya is? Even though you guys just described it and he wasn't listening, do you guys think an Enya is something that Stugotz knows what you're speaking of when you say that?
He's definitely seen them because of the Enya FL last month. So he's seen it recently and see Enya. I don't know if he could accurately do
Seeing
one.
things and knowing what they mean are two very
Okay.
different things.
So what
know?
what would you guess that it is?
She's a singer.
Who is?
Whoever we're talking about.
I mean, he's not lying. There is a singer called Enya.
Thank you.
Do you really not know, living in this market your entire life, what an Enya
I live in
is?
Orlando. I mean,
Do you want to take another guess at what an Enya is? I'd like to. I don't know if I think it's always good comedy. Charles did this last night and showed no self-consciousness. Charles Barkley was who he played for was the game they were playing, and they gave him 4 or 5 NBA players, and he didn't get any of them. He just kept guessing Sacramento, and it's uproariously funny that he doesn't have any idea where these people play.
Sacramento is always a good guess,
Yeah,
though.
but he got them
It
all
is.
wrong. None of them were playing in Sacramento, but that's the move. He was just going Sacramento, Indiana, just assuming that those teams wouldn't have somebody that he knew.
They screwed him over though with the Holiday Brothers. Like,
That's a tough
Oh,
one.
the Holiday Brothers are always moving. Justin in particular. Justin's been on a team for every season that he's been in the league, perhaps 2.
Aaron's been on 4 teams. I don't know how long has he been in the league? 3 years. He's on 4 teams already.
Ish Smith would have been a good one. Do you know
Oh.
where Ish Smith is now?
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
I've been beating that drum about
What
that.
against Denver?
It is Denver.
Wow.
Really? That's the other team you guessed, by the way.
I feel like they could have gone to Charles at halftime. Hey, Charles, who does Noah Vonleh play for? And he could have watched him play the first half for the Celtics, and he still probably would have guessed Orlando.
It just happened with Stugotz and the Enya. That's why I love it.
Singer.
The game, James Johnson was one of them.
Oh, that one stumped me.
They gave the answer, and I still don't know.
That one stumped me. I was like, James Johnson is still in the league? I thought it was a trick question.
Where did he get traded at the end of last year when the Nets waived him for, yelling at Kevin Durant in a practice?
Well, he didn't.
I thought it was the Mavs, right?
No, he was on the Mavs, but that was like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, you're a little outdated
Jesus.
there.
Do you know where he is? I don't know.
I do now. After last night, I won't lie. Like, I would have been stumped on that one. I literally said, "Oh, trick question. They're trying to get him. He's not on a team." And they're like, "No, he's on the Indiana Pacers." I'm like, "Oh shit, really?"
What?
Yeah.
He got out from under that contract somehow.
Greatest trade in team history is getting off of James Johnson just for the price of Justice Winslow, who's done nothing since.
Andy Ellisberg, the most underrated person in the entire NBA. That dude, I don't know what they're paying him, but he deserves a raise.
Where is Justice Winslow these days?
Great question.
Is he no longer in Memphis?
No, he went
was
to the
in Memphis?
Clippers. He went to the Clippers. I think he's still with the Clippers. This is great. This is great radio.
Who he play for is great. Podcast.
It's hard to time when a microphone is on back here because, like, we've just been playing music like if we were at a World Baseball Classic game for the past, 10 minutes, and Woody turns around and he's like, none of the mics are on, right? And it's like, we were just kind of jamming back
It's not
here.
about
with
the
all
rhythm
the
being on. Yeah, it's about us feeling the rhythm.
You said World Baseball Classic. I thought Yankees game. How about those Yankees?
The fix was in. Billy told you from the beginning.
Yep.